Hi everybody, this is Tom with another video update on my efforts to grow my Patreon page. Back in March of 2015, I began a Pledge for Pledge campaign on my Patreon page, which means that I find other creators on Patreon to support, and they agree to support me equally with a pledge to my page. I currently am at 25 patrons, bringing in $55 per creation. And the results from the month of June are in, and I wanted to share the trends that I'm seeing as I work with Patreon. So I started in the month of March, and the first payout from working with Pledge to Pledge and Pledge for Pledge and getting other creators to support me was the first payout in April. Now the first payout in April, I actually didn't make any money. I actually think lost $2. And that had to do with not managing my pledges as opposed to the pledges that were coming into me. I kind of learned the hard way how to do that. In the month of May, I made roughly $45, if I remember correctly. And this month, I'm going to go in here to my account and show you what the results are. So you can see my account balance here is $89.90. That is my take-home amount this month. So I basically doubled my money from May to June. If you look here at the inbound payments, you'll see that $112 came into my Patreon account from other patrons, from all of my patrons, and that's minus the credit card fees and Patreon's cut. And only $25 went out from me to the creators that I'm supporting. Now that's actually a lot less than the creators I'm supporting. I'm actually supporting about $60 worth of pledges right now. But in the month of June, the creators that I'm supporting, many of them just didn't put out any content that was paid for. So I got off light this month, lighter than I was expecting, with the amount going out to other creators. My goal is to shoot for creating 4 new creations a month maximum, 3 minimum. And if I go into the Patron Manager here, you'll be able to see that I was successful in doing that. Now the Star Spangled Banner is my first post for July. I did that on July 4th for the Independence Day holiday. But here are my 4 creations from June. And if you go back here to the first one on June 13th, you can see that arrangement brought in $48 from 22 patrons, and Patreon was successful at charging all 22 people's bank accounts, credit cards. This is the first month since I've been doing it where all of the cards actually processed went through. You're always going to lose 1 or 2 because their credit information changes or something like that. But this month, all of them went. So you can see 22 patrons for the first creation. That's at the actual amount that was on my Patreon page at the time that I posted that. And I'm now up to $55 a creation with 25 patrons. When you get to the second creation, that dropped from 22 to 10. And you can understand that because people cap their pledges. Most creators are only willing to support 1 of your creations per month, which is fine. Then we've got the next creation was 9 patrons, and then my 4th one was 7 patrons. But basically, my first creation took care of the outflow that I ended up having to give to other creators as my pledges for the month. So for the naysayers so far that I've come across who say, well, it's a 0 game, because if you're pledging the same amount that they're pledging to you, you're going to end up with a 0 balance by the end of the month. And the answer to that is no. I'm finding out that that is not the case. So that gives you an idea of what's going on here. Now you can see my Star Spangled Banner post here. It was $55 pledged by 25 patrons, so that's the max amount. It remains to be seen by the end of June or July whether or not all 25 patrons get charged. And these numbers over here are just an estimate of what you're going to end up getting. You really don't know how much you're bringing in until Patreon has crunched all the numbers and sent you the final results. So this is an encouraging trend to me. I need to make a stronger effort in finding and supporting new patrons, or new creators, I should say, who are willing to do a pledge for pledge exchange to continue to grow the page. But certainly these results are, a basically doubling my money from May to June is very encouraging results. And I plan on continuing to use Patreon not only to bring in a little extra cash, but also to help support other artists and to help keep myself motivated to put out great content each month. So hope that this little review of my results from June sheds some light on what you're experiencing in using Patreon, and do let me know if you have any questions or comments. Thanks.